Yeah. Jake Chapman, everyone. So we've got two things going on here. I'm going to show you a film, just in case you have to be amused because I'm failing that.
Am I the glamorous assistant?
You're the glamorous assistant. But we also thought that because I couldn't come up with a proper lecture presentation, that what we would do is we would get people to put in anonymous questions, and then I would have to deal with that. So I've kind of stitched myself up.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome, I said. Do you want me to start the film?
Shall we start the film? Yeah. Nice. Right.
Do I get to read them out?
Oh yeah, why not? Don't make them up though.
Whose idea were the mannequins, you or George?
Gilbert.
Someone hasn't done their homework.
We might come back to that.
How has family life changed the way you feel about your art?
Oh, God. Oh, bloody earnest. Yes, it's really changed everything. I now see the world in a very different way as opposed to before I had children. I think my children are more pessimistic than I am, so, you know, they've got a much more cynical worldview than I do. I mean, the way they treat their toys is only sort of, you know, an index of their hatred of all things, you know, organic. So I'm learning from them, actually.
Do you know what? I'm going to ad-lib this bit. We'll jump into the questions later, but I think everyone wants a little, like, what's your kind of favorite project? What are some of the artworks you're most proud of? Just to give people a kind of idea of kind of what you've worked on.
That one. What is it? Favorite works? Hell.
What, you created it?
Well, you know, in 1/30 scale, yeah. The one that burned, especially. What our favourite works of my work? God, that's a bit weird. I don't really think about it like that. I kind of see making art as being a kind of a running away from your last best attempt at doing something, which is just, you know, the trace element of all your failures. You know, you don't make art because you've succeeded. You'd stop if you'd made something good. You'd stop. You know. Someone else. I mean, a retrospective is a nightmare. You know, it's kind of the idea of actually going to a museum and sort of seeing all these kind of. They're like kind of holiday snaps of all the worst people you've ever been on holiday with.
What's it like working with your brother?
It's all right. He's got diarrhoea, so it's not so great. And I actually did miss out. I did say he's got violent diarrhoea, actually. I was quite a bit annoyed that you missed that out.
Thanks for elaborating on that. Yeah. I'm taking a much more active role in this talk than I ever imagined.
It's good, I like it. I'll go.
Right. Why do you make so much nasty stuff?
Oh, that's my kids wrote that. I don't know. I mean, I sort of think the idea of kind of bicycling to the studio and going in and painting pictures of flowers is just not, you know. I mean, you can see flowers, you can do all that stuff, you can have that in actual life. You can't kind of, you can't. You know, it's you know, the idea of actually allowing yourself to speculate on the more dark, you know, the dark underbelly of life is just simply because you can't get away with it, you know, legally in real life. So this is just sublimated kind of hatred, you know. But it's a kind of it's a healthy, non-pathological form of psychosis. Yep. Nobody gets hurt.
Next question. What excites you about the concept of recycled art?
Nothing. Stupid question.
One-word answers aren't going to... Yeah.
Sorry. Well, we can come back to that. We can come back to that and say something more because we're going to run out of time. Well, we're not going to run out of time. We're going to have too much time to...
How does your art affect your music? Who wrote these?
Did anyone write that? Quite own up. How does your art affect your music? God, I can't think of anything. How does your art affect your music? What is my music? What is my music? How does my art affect my music? What does that mean? You could say, how does music affect my art? Because I often listen to music when I make art.
Let's go with that one.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Where is it?
Oh, no, that's the next one.
Oh, I was just going to, yeah. Oh, yeah, it affects it a lot. I kind of listen to, when I'm feeling angry, I listen to Metallica. When I'm feeling sad, I listen to Vivaldi. When I'm feeling indifferent, I listen to Philip Glass. If I want silence, I listen to John Cage. Usual artistic plethora of naff music that you listen to when you know.
What in kind of everyday culture do you really rate? What in everyday culture do you really rate?
Air. Is that a question? Is that a question?
I just made it up because we're running out of questions.
I think you wrote these. Did you write these?
I didn't write them.
It's the same caliber as that last one you just said, but you just made that up. Come on, give me another one.
All right, another one. Hold on. Because if I put the hat down,
yeah,
it's going to...
Oh, Christ.
How influential was Goya on your early work? I'm not sure if anyone's familiar, but I think you destroyed one, didn't you?
I bought a house off Goya. Not off him literally, but off the back of Goya, He's been very influential, we've, at any sort of hiatus dips in our career, we've always returned to Goya because he's still there, When did I first come across his work? That's about 14? Not sure about Dinos. I don't think he has yet.
Should children be allowed in art galleries? A child recently climbed on a priceless sculpture at the Tate. Was it one of your kids?
Yeah, it's like little kind of crampon climbing gear, yeah. I think kids can go anywhere, but it's the same as saying, should kids run 100 meters in the Olympics? Probably not, I think, this is referring to the kind of fantastically cut and paste statements in the press recently when I said that it was a waste of time taking children to galleries. It's a waste of time taking children anywhere. And I said that, and then these kind of amazingly sort of fantastically earnest, the anger, the amount of abuse I got from just the spectrum of abuse was brilliant. From people who were angry because I said that children weren't even human yet. And, simply saying that, maybe I thought that was a compliment, I thought that was a compliment. They don't become human until they're potty trained. I thought that was a compliment. Should children go to galleries? Yes, they should. Of course they should. They should be forced to. Absolutely. By gunpoint, And then, absolutely, yeah. It's one or the other, isn't it? I think the parents shouldn't be allowed in. That's the thing.
This handwriting is really crap. What is the most interesting piece of hate mail you have received?
Oh my God. Oh, I'll have to, yeah. We got, so it's not so much hate mail, this is more love mail actually, which is kind of weirder. We got one that had the tiniest writing, it was like written by an ant. And it said, I've been following your career with some interest for a number of years. I unfortunately find myself in an artless society. I thought, what the fuck is that? It's a very Dickensian artless society. And look at the top, HMP Winchester. So, ooh, okay. They haven't got out yet, so. The worst piece of hate mail. I've had all sorts of things. I had paint chucked over me. I've been attacked.
Where was the paint?
It was on my face. Yeah, it was all over my face. Red vinyl paint, vinyl gloss paint.
Did you look good?
No, I looked red.
I often look red.
Yeah.
That's because I'm a bit ginger,
yeah, I was going to say,
yeah. What is the last thing you created? Hell, right? No.
Wow, yeah, heaven. Today I created, what did I do? What did I create today? can't even remember. It was so memorable. I don't know.
What's the last piece of artwork that you would consider artwork that you've worked on? That you made?
I think I was lightly watercolouring some etchings yesterday, teasing some paint and... Is that Dinos? It's all right. The Imodium's kicked in. No chance.
Oh, this is quite a good one. Have different cultures reacted differently to your art?
How would I know? Well, I wouldn't understand the language, would I? I mean... Probably.
Google Translate?
Yeah. I don't know. Yes, they have, yeah. Often find the Germans are quite quiet. Respectful, or just stunned into silence, I don't know.
Right.
Or angry.
This is another one about your brother.
Oh.
Funnily enough. Is sibling rivalry a propelling factor to the creation of your art?
Well, Dinos contracted diarrhoea after I did something horrible with his toothbrush, so... No, we work really well together. He doesn't realise it's Ebola.
What draws you to the use of known symbols? If that gets a sensible answer.
known symbols. What attracts us to known symbols? It's difficult. It's difficult. I don't know, really. Well, they're there, aren't they? I mean, I know that's a kind of much more epic than the magnitude of mountains. Why did you climb the mountain? Because it's there. Why are you attracted to known symbols? It's because they're there. I know it's not as epic or heroic, but because they're there. Well, like swastikas or smiley faces. I think because they're, while they are generic signs for a kind of consensus of agreement about what they mean, they're also simultaneously quite impoverished. So that, so I guess it goes, the idea of actually going to the studio and saying, let's make a painting that's really happy. Well, what would you do? Well, you do a smiley face. And if you go to the studio and you say, let's make something that's really horrible, what's that? It's the kind of, the universal sign for evil is the swastika. What's quite nice about doing that is when you make art, the assumption or the optimistic hope for what an artist should do is to elaborate a little bit more about what, the depth and the profundity of being human should be a little bit more than a smiley face or a swastika. But I think we're quite happy with just smiley faces and swastikas. We kind of like to leave a boundary and let other artists go further than those things.
Cool. Right. I'm going to run into the crowd and take some live questions. Is that cool?
Yeah,
Can I
cool.
leave you up here alone? Right. Questions for Jake. Hands up, people. There's one over there.
Have you ever created a piece of art?
You're coming out of here. Sorry.
Have you ever created a piece of art that 0.001% of the population has stopped everybody else from going to see? I'm referring to the Barbican exhibition last week. Obviously not yours, but has that applied to you?
I've been out of the country for a while. Can you explain? The points. I'm still perplexed by the 0.001 point. What of the population? Who would that be? That would.
You. The few people that stopped everyone else in the population being able to see a piece of art.
What was the piece of art? Like I said,
It was the exhibit B.
What's that?
Should we move on?
It's what? It's a human zoo.
It was.
Sounds crap. Did they stop it on qualitative terms or just because it was offensive? Who thought that? Who thought it was? Is it still on? No. So it's been banned. It's an outrage. Bloody outrage. Were children allowed in? Well, only children. Oh no, I know what you mean. Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really human zoos. I've been to Peckham.
Right, next question.
Did you always want to be an artist?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Thanks.
Of course. That's the first thing I thought as I crawled out of my mother's cat flap. Yeah.
Hello. An awful lot of your art is used very traditional techniques when you've been moulding with the brass and oil paintings and things. How have you found modern technology and the internet has influenced you? Has it at all? Do you think you stay with the traditional?
I think we are. I mean, I think there's something quite nice about using traditional, conservative, conventional techniques, just to avoid the idea that that we would hazard any kind of progress in our artistic activities. It's quite nice. I mean, for us, I think the next thing for us is coil pots and flower arranging, and maybe knitting and and corn dollies. It's quite nice. I think while the idea of actually to go backwards rather than forwards.
Are you going to embark on any more books?
More what?
Books.
Books.
Yeah. Your helmet.
I'm going to embark on more books. Yeah, loads of books.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Loads.
Right, who else is fearless?
That's about an hour.
Any more
isn't it?
questions? Oh, one over there.
I've got to drive back to Gloucestershire after this.
At what point does the art kind of, when you're employing other artists to work alongside to produce your work, at what point does it become too far removed from you, i.e. you're not directly involved in producing it? Where do you stand on that?
They're not artists if they work for me, they're assistants. Duh.
Any more for any more? Oh, one here.
How do I put this? So,
Carefully.
I'll be careful.
Nicely.
As a novice
Be
and someone
flattering.
who is an artist and creates art,
Wow.
whatever that may be. How do you actually make money? Because when people create things, they're generally very beautiful and people want to buy them and put them on their wall or send them as a postcard. A lot of the stuff that you create, I probably generally wouldn't send to my grandmother or my mother, and I probably wouldn't hang
You don't
on my
know, I've been
wall.
selling stuff to your grandmother.
She is a dark horse.
Yeah, not much. She can have her umbrella back as well.
How do you put the bread and butter on the table? I mean, it's extreme, it's shocking. Who buys this shit,
Yeah.
And I don't mean shit in a bad way.
No, I know
but,
what you mean. You mean
kind
like
of
shit.
Street
Yeah,
shit
shit,
kind of way.
yeah, shit.
Who buys this stuff?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
answer that. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe people who like toy soldiers or guilty Germans or I don't know. I never meet them. I don't know. I suppose it's like, in light of the digital presentation, it's like we're like the dark net, the dark underbelly of the net, we're the one who sells and delivers drugs and guns, people come to us to buy all that shit, not the other shit. Not the shit that you make. I mean, I don't know it's shit. I'm just using shit in the same way that you were using shit. I don't know. I mean, people with too much money. I don't know. People with too much money and no taste.
Last couple? Go on, Ben.
Uh-oh.
Do you ever give up if you're halfway through something and you're like, this is actually shit? or do you just keep going?
I don't know. I can answer that by saying no, I never give up. I mean, well, that would implicate that like 50% of what I've made is still shit. Because I didn't stop. Or I could say, oh yeah, there's loads of stuff we stopped. You want to see it? We've got, okay, it's like the Temple of Doom. We've got a warehouse full of shit that was only half done. Oh yeah, we're going to give that to Tracy Emin. Yeah, constantly, yeah. I mean, you know, I think the thing about making art is that it's a very precarious activity, you know, in terms of, you know, you set yourself the task of thinking that if you kind of manipulate a certain material because you want it to mean something, well, halfway through it abandons your input and it becomes something totally different. So you either accept that it takes a different course or you just smash it with a hammer or burn it or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of... Yeah, there's a load of... I mean, there's also actually a lot of stuff that we've made that I look back at and think I wish we'd stopped halfway through. I mean, we have this kind of a fantasy of a video where we could get back all the shit that's been bought by people that we can't get back, called Good Riddance to Bad Rubbish, and it would involve Beachy Head, you know, just pushing things over. Stephen Hawking. Not really Stephen Hawking. Fuck. Keep up.
Amazing. I think we might leave it there.
Yeah,
Jake Chapman, everybody.
Cheers, nice.